Longtime viewer Tola has sent this to me, seemingly asking for advice on the boss. So hopefully you guys will also be able to offer some advice. We're going to take a look at it. He does say something kind of funny to me though. He said, "This isn't actually a funny video. I just want to know why people keep dying on the first boss." But he's wrong. It is a funny video. So we're going to do that too. It starts off in a funny way too to me. Like, this is, by the way, you might see he's from Ragnaros. This is the EU Ragnaros. People have told me that realm's not great either, but look at everybody saying hi to each other, including this Ragnaut from Blackhand. It's an important name. You'll see more later. For some reason there's like 40 hunters in the queue. He invites one of them, and then that guy says hi too. Look at this. This guy's like, hi. I don't know. These people in Europe are more friendly, it seems, huh? Oh, maybe not. The guy says, at Hunter, please de-enrage the mobs. You can't at people in this game, by the way, in case people don't know that. By the way, what is this health bar add-on? Doesn't look like it's Plater. It's very different looking. The shape is very different than I've ever seen before. So you're gonna see something happen immediately here, and he asked him to de-enrage because when the mob is using a spell called Rage Storm, it's actually an enrage, and that mechanic, if you de-enrage it, will stop the Blade Storm, meaning that melee DPS won't have to run out of melee range. Guess what this fella doesn't do? But yeah, that he needs probably Trank Shot cast on him to be. Actually, where was the hunter? Oh, I think he died actually. Let's take a look. Ah, yeah, the hunter actually dies. That's pretty funny, though, that the guy's dead and the warrior's yelling at him to do something. He's like, bro, he died to the mechanic. He's not here to de-enrage. Yeah, but probably cast Trank Shot on this guy because this ain't going to be the last time he brings this up. Say, whenever you're typing the word kick in the party chat, things aren't going well, I think. A lot of times people aren't just going to listen. I mean, this is a 16. Really, probably not going to see much. You got your typical Resto Druid as well doing 0 DPS on these pulls. So I quite like this pull, but, it's a pretty dangerous pull. As Death Knight, I would really recommend pulling them back because as you see, the mobs that you ran through are now kind of straggling behind and DPS is getting split up heavily here. Also would definitely recommend getting some keybinds for the core CDs. They are going to be incredibly crucial to be able to use at a moment's notice. But yeah, Ragnoit. Ragnoir? I don't know how you say that. That fella is going to get one shot by the same mechanic that he was complaining about before, seemingly. And there's going to be a discussion about it. Now, Tola says, you got to run away from them when they run at you. He says, if you don't do this, you will die every time. Trying to be constructive, but the warrior is not. He goes, fucking de-enrage the fucking Blade Storm. He goes, it's one click from the hunter. Now, instead of continuing, he's... Hunter, you can soothe the range mobs when he does Blade Storm. Or actually, can you soothe them? It's really funny though, because there's also a druid in the group. Nobody even comments on that. You have a druid in the group as well who could also do it, but that's like not even being commented on. Am I wrong about that? Is it not something the druid can also get? Anyway, the whole key goes by and that hunter never responds. Probably, I wonder how much of a serious thing this is on EU. Like, is there just a straight up language barrier with so many different languages being spoken within the region? Here comes the Rage Storm. It's happening right here. And then 3, 2, 1, the warrior dies. So it's hard to tell. I'm not familiar with what this nameplate add-on is, so it's really hard to see if there's anything else going on, but I don't think anybody actually died to being fixated there or anything. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy died to just getting Blade Storm. That's why he freaks out and, you always just move out of it, buddy. To be expecting it to be soothed in a 16, it's just really silly. And I think that mentality is indicative of what is going to ultimately cause problems for them in this key. But yeah, he basically just asked me to look at this boss and give a detailed explanation of what actually is wiping them on this boss. Honestly, for what I can tell, like this boss, I really don't understand its difficulty that much. It seems like it's just overtuned. There's a few mechanics that seem like they're way harder than you might expect for a boss, especially on like lower keys. It seems really common. So you guys take a look at this too. You guys let me know if you see anything I don't see, but we're going to go right into it. We've already lost threat, but that guy's going to be the one that jumps around. So it's like not the end of the world there. Just got to reestablish threat. What we do with Death Grip there. But yeah, so that boss is going to jump around and put a bleed on everyone. So that hunter was struggling. I mean, this is the guy who doesn't know about the soothing and everybody's on the case of, and he gets kind of like blinked to and just hit. I'm not exactly sure how that mechanic works. Let's take another look at it. Of course, hunter notoriously squishy in the past. I think their defenses have gotten a lot better recently, but the mob just jumps to them and puts that bleed on them. The hunter's health is very low. The druid is keeping him up. You don't have anything tracking his defensive Cs, but Gash Frenzy is the one that puts the bleed on. on, marked for butchery, I guess is the name of the mechanic. He's gonna jump over there and he's just gonna start wailing away on this. Is this something you're meant to move from? Is this something you're just meant to heal through? I actually don't know. First, you would think the Blade Storm would cause issues based on the previous trash, but one way or the other, that guy died to a standard boss mechanic on a 16. I imagine he didn't use the CDs. Nobody really interrupting on the fight either. I believe this is the interrupt tracker and it's like not working or bugged or something like that, but yeah, none of those casts are being interrupted. This is a really dangerous part of the fight. These earth bolts actually do a lot of damage. That would be one thing you gotta do, especially as a tank. You really gotta interrupt that as often as possible. People always kind of interrupt the heal. That can actually be removed with a magic dispel. So if you have somebody who can do that, like a hunter, but this guy's obviously not gonna do that, you can just ignore that mechanic, then just interrupt everything else and you'll probably be fine. So at this point, the guy says, why no focus? He clarifies on Roju, which I assume he means the left boss of the three. Gash Tooth. This one's obviously the most dangerous one, but we've talked a lot about this over the last few months. It's really hard to focus, especially with multiple melee in the group, because he's going to be jumping all around. It might be more prudent in this group to kill Trick Totem as fast as possible, simply because he's definitely not being interrupted, constantly getting cast out, even though when people have interrupts available. As you see, the chip damage plus the bleed, really dangerous. I mean, people aren't even interrupting the heal at this point. Again, I don't know. It's tough to guarantee that this guy dies first just because he's doing so much movement. One thing I always try to do here is AMS this incapacitate. It will delay it a bit. I still don't fully understand how it works. Apparently the totem is channeling on the healer. The healer's like polymorphed, and then once the healer's done being polymorphed, they can dispel the tank. So sometimes if you AMS, you have enough time to never get incapacitated or something. But then this guy says something that I don't understand. So let's go ahead and look it up. Yeah, so he says Hunter is Zunix Zugerbrauken. I typed that in and somehow it's only 2 words. Hunter is useless. So all of this means useless? I don't understand what that means. It's probably some kind of phrase. And that's really unfair, honestly. Obviously, the guy's not playing very well. He's making a lot of mistakes and dying. But yeah, we're not interrupting. Seemingly not really taking the fight serious at all. We did lust, but yeah, like the druid said, like, you know, every mob is like different health. Like, look at there. Yeah, you should definitely try to pick one and kill it quickly. Regardless of which one you want to pick, that's up to you. I would definitely recommend Trick Totem in this case, considering how little interrupting is going on. But frankly, I don't really know how that guy's dying so easily. It's a very high damage fight. The bleeds and the tick damage from that on top of the chip damage from the casts that aren't being taken care of is really a lot to ask. But at this point, the hunter simply just doesn't have the health to survive. Like, his health is constantly low. Right now he's in 200k, and then this earth bolt is going to hit him for like another 100 and some k, and that's just going to be it. Yeah, in this case he dies to the earth bolt, and as you see on whatever is going on with that weak ore or whatever, he's the only one who actually even tried to interrupt. Step 1, interrupt every earth bolt possible, and then just deal with the painful boss on Tyrannical Man. Maybe you guys will have some more insight. It's just a lot of healing, I think. So, but besides all that, I think this is an interesting video to upload because it really exemplifies some of the situations going on in these lower keys. You know, he reached out to me, like, what I can tell to be genuinely asking for help. People don't actually know what's going on in the fight, like seemingly the whole group, you know what I mean? Makes the game really hard. And I don't really know how to solve that because I feel like there's an abundance of information out there. It's just like the game has gotten to a point now where there's a lot of mechanics that don't necessarily challenge you in lower key levels, and then you get to a point where all of a sudden that same mechanic is destroying you, but you just never actually learned what it did or how it works, and now all of a sudden you can't deal with it. So I don't actually know how you solve that, man. I think it's a systemic issue with the game. I think Mythic Plus is set up for this type of failure simply because of how easy the timer and actual like DPS requirements are at the lower levels, and then all of a sudden you're blasting through that, and then you get to a level where now all of that becomes way harder, and also now you need to know the mechanics, and if you don't, you'll just die. So yeah, I don't know, man. You guys let me know what you think about this, but otherwise, if you guys are recording or runs, send them to me if you have anything interesting. Even if it's something like this that is mostly educational, we can take a look at that too. So thank you for watching, guys. We will see you in the next YouTube video I upload on this channel.